All right. So, Coach Lou here from Elevate Fitness and Martial Arts, and welcome to our Mindset, Nutrition, and Fitness podcast. I always like to bring good stuff out there that's going to be good for your mind, your body, your soul, everything. So, everything in that realm of fitness. And I think that my guest today is going to really hit up on all those areas because I've really watched her go through each step of this, like her mental state, her physical state, her nutritional state. And I thought that for this episode, it would be really cool for her to come on and talk about her journey and, the struggles that she's had to go through and how she's been able to manage to stay on top of prioritize her life and her wellness, even though she has so much on her plate, and just kind of how fitness and wellness and all the components can just really help you to reach your higher self and continue to reach for the stars. So, without further ado, could you please introduce yourself? So, say your full name and just talk about like what you do, just a quick little you know family life, like what is the day, what's Emma do?
My name's Emma Smith. I'm from Santa Rosa. I have 6 children. The oldest is 19. I'm a medical assistant, and life every day is extremely, extremely busy. Just
Absolutely.
try,
So I
just
think that's cool for you to hear that with Emma saying that, because a lot of the times we come up with reasons why we can't put our, fitness or nutrition, our wellness first. Um, so where I want to go back with this, Emma, is I want to talk about when you truly made the decision to embark on this journey. So let's talk about first where you were mentally, um, and like what was the driving force for that?
um in 2016, I was in a really dysfunctional relationship with somebody, and I was 259 pounds, and I had given up on everything. Um, Food was my comfort, so it was a lot of sugar, a lot of carbs. I didn't feel like I had control over anything except for what I put in my body, so that would be food. And didn't think that I could do anything but raise kids and eat. And that's, as silly as it sounds, that's all I did, was raise my kids and eat all day. So it was really not a good time in my
And
life.
how did you feel about yourself? Like, what are the kind of things that you would say to yourself? Like, what did you feel like?
Um, I don't even think I thought about myself. I don't think that there was ever a day that it was like, take care of yourself and do you. I would go days without showering. I would go days without any kind of self-care. Sleep was, at the time I was working night shift. I did night shifts for 6 years, worked from 10 p.m. to about 7 a.m. and then had to go home and take care of kids. So that was really hard too. But there was no time for me. It wasn't even a thought that I had.
And did you ever attempt to make a change prior to that?
No, I didn't, because I was so down on myself and who I was, that what was surrounding me was all negative. The energies and the vibes around me were so negative, that I couldn't see any light anywhere.
Yeah. And so, what was that moment that you decided that you wanted to make a change? Like, what sparked that for you?
Um, So me being that big and just being unhealthy mentally, physically, spiritually, in all aspects, that had been going on for about a good year and a half or so, close to 2 years. And I was in the process of leaving the person that I was with and slowly finding myself. there was somebody from my past that I ran into, and he helped me a lot, who's my husband now, to get out of that funk and be like, you are deserving, you are beautiful, you can do this. You know, having that lighting that fire again. I don't even know how to explain it, but honestly, that's what it was. That's what it was. I had known all along I needed to do better for my kids. I needed to be in a better place, but I didn't have a single person. I didn't have a community of people. I didn't have friends. I didn't have anybody. But when I ran into this individual, it just like life changed, and that's what really did it.
Okay. And then so your next step was, where did you go from there?
Um, the family that I do, my family's small out here in Santa Rosa. I have a brother and I have two sisters and my mom. So it's not like we really have a big support out here. And at the time, the person that I was talking to, which is now my husband, told me like you need to make moves. Like you need to do stuff that's gonna be might be uncomfortable. And you have to reach out to your family for that support. And it wasn't even me saying, I used to always wait for them to like help me out. But at this point, he was like, you need to reach out to them and tell them like, hey, I need to get out of here. I need to move on for me and the kids. Something that I didn't add that I should have added going way back, because it's bringing up all these memories now. You asked me, what kind of kick started the weight loss and just like the whole, what really changed it. um Prior to bumping into my husband, I actually went to a seminar for weight loss. It was at the I believe it was Wells Fargo Center, and I was actually in the process of potentially getting gastric bypass surgery. And since I was so big and I had met the criteria for the surgery, they said, okay, well, you need to go to a seminar. The seminar, you have to listen to a panel of people talk about what they've been through, their situations. And that is actually what really started it prior to me seeing him. So I'm 259. I walk into this seminar. This is so crazy that this is a really wild story. I walk in there and there's women there that were a lot bigger than me, and they're just kind of looking at me like, why are you in here, and I'm thinking like, I mean, I need to lose weight. I need this surgery. It's going to save my life. This surgery is the fix all, right? End all fix all, which is, now I know that's not how it is. Um, and so I'm seeing this panel, and there's doctors and there's nurses, there's people who've been through the procedure. One of the nurses stood out to me the most. I don't remember her name, but she's the one who said, you're going to need to open doors you've never opened before. If that means letting go of friendships, relationships, spouses, that don't serve a purpose to you in your life anymore, you're going to have to do that. And
Mm.
whatever that triggered in my mind, then from there, I was like, this is the end. We're not doing this anymore. We're going to put Emma first. So I never did get the surgery. I just kept losing weight and focusing on other things. But it started here. This is where it started.
Now, for those of you who are like listening to this via our podcast and you can't see Emma right now, so Emma, where are you weighing in right now?
Currently, I weigh myself every Thursday. I do naked weights. I'm at 150.
Okay, so she went basically, how much was your total loss? Like,
Uh, about
uh,
109 pounds.
yes. So, and really quick here too, not to say that people who have gotten the gastric bypass that it's a bad thing, because there's people who truly need that. But what Emma's talking about and what we're talking about when we say open doors is even for people that get gastric bypass, you need to work on changing your mental state or you will put yourself back where you were because those habits haven't been created. And when you go, this is a mental thing here because when you start to lose and you have to change those habits that got you there in the first place, and if you don't change those habits you'll find yourself it just creeping back up again because
Right.
like Emma had said prior, she used food to comfort her emotions. So it's literally a whole change in headspace, habits, the way you eat, the way you move. I mean, it really is. And being, a coach for over 20 years, dealing with having to watch, there's people I watch that I see that are successful with it, and there's people who I see who they just put it right back on. So that's kind of what we're referring to. Okay, so let's move a little bit more into, let's kind of flash forward a little bit more, fast forward. Emma, how did we meet? So what brought you to me?
Earlier I said I work for Sutter, and my manager at the time, Patty, she came by just doing her rounds with all the medical assistants, checking in on everybody, and she's like almost like limping, but she's doing this kind of like walk down the hallway. And I hadn't really conversated with her before because she was fairly new to me being new to Sutter. And I was like, okay, she's either truly injured or she's sore from something. What's going on here? So I asked her, I'm like, hey, just like quick question. Are you okay? You good? And she's like, yes, but where I go, Elevate Fitness in Roanoke Park, Katati, it just like whooped my ass today. Like she was like, whatever workout of the day it was, like got her. But Patty also is just like a phenomenal woman. I mean, super dedicated, wife, mother, and amazing body. Shout out to Patty. You know what I mean? Like amazing body. And so I'm like, wow. And in my head, I'm like, well, I want to get like that. I'd rather be sore from, working out than sore from the weight on me or just walking in my knees and things like that can contribute to that weight gain. But yeah, that's what started me. And she's like, come try it out, you get a week free, you can see if you like it. And that was kind of like the beginning of the end because I walked in and it was like no turning back.
And it's been quite a journey for Emma. And as being from a person, watching the transition taking place, what I will really say that I really appreciate about Emma is she's very coachable, and she knows that as coaches, our intentions are the best for her. And it was a really beautiful transformation to see take place. And she would come to me and ask me questions like, how do I get motivated? Like, how do I, get my head in the space, to make it and show up? And I could always tell when Emma was going through something because her emotions are just, she doesn't hide them very well.
I know.
I mean, which is a good thing because we
Yes.
can see that if,
Yeah.
Emma's not afraid to say, "Hey, I'm going through this," and I think that must have been a hard, change to make, Emma, to actually ask
Hmm.
help.
Huge.
Okay, so what do you think was the biggest thing? Like, what advice would you offer to other women out there that are struggling like this, that they feel, because the common, road bumps that come up is I don't have time. Um, and that's the biggest one. I'm
Yeah.
embarrassed. A lot of women are very insecure about getting out there. They think that people are going to judge them. They're afraid. I have people tell me, "Oh, I have to get fit before I come to see you." So like, what what piece of advice would you give to women on this journey right now?
Um, Rip the band-aid off. Rip that shit off. Get in there and just do it. It's harder to sit at home as the days pass on and you're doing the same self-destructive behavior every day than it is for you to walk your ass in the gym and just be like, at least I made it. Even if for a day, at least you made it. You got up and you went. Time is a big thing. I totally get it. Time, and so going back to me being 259, me being physically, mentally, and spiritually unhealthy, I remember making every single possible excuse why there was no way I could go to the gym. I have too many kids. I work full time. There's just no way. I have to cook. I have to clean. I have to do this, that, and the other. With time, it's a priority. How important is something to you? Um, if you sit back and take a piece of paper and decide to say like this is most important to me, my health. I can't, if I'm not healthy, how can I help my kids? How can I be there for them? So prioritizing and finding any amount of time. And I think often too, people think you need a lot of time to work on yourself, and you don't. 10 minutes a day stretching can work wonders. Anything, just the smallest amount of time for you to have that self-care is the beginning. That's the beginning.
Mhm. And so what do you tell yourself on days that you just don't want to go? What do you do? Because I know you show up anyways, and we all know what that's like. So what do you do? What do you say to yourself?
I know how it feels to show up and get it done, and that feeling of completing that workout or just completing that day feels so much better than me sitting there just sitting there saying, no, I'm going to sleep in today, or no, I'm not going to do it, I'll do it tomorrow. And it sucks because all day all I'm thinking about is I missed the gym. I missed it this morning and I can't stop thinking about it all day. And then the next day I'm like, all right, let's go. Um, and I like to give people like any kind of advice I can. Set hella alarms. If
Mhm.
you know you need to be there at 5:30, you need to set one at 4:30, 4:45, 5 o'clock, 5:15. Sounds kind of dorky. Set them in your phone, have them ready Monday through Friday, or Monday, Tuesday, however often you want to go. And that's a huge help, really big help.
Yes, that is a really good one. And okay, so then what are your goals right now, Emma? Like Emma's got some cool things that she's focusing on. Let's talk about that. Like what do you want to do, Emma?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm so excited. So when I started Coach Lou's Elevate Fitness and Martial Arts, it was, I want to say 2021, I believe. It could have been the end of 2020, but I believe it was 2021. And she also offers not just the nutritional courses, the fitness, the functional fitness express workouts, but she also offers kickboxing, Muay Thai stuff. And that part really, really drew me in. It was something that I was excited about as a child. When I was 13, I remember going into a local gym, but I was very shy. I'm still shy. Like I still not very good at public talking or being around people. But my mom was like, all right, Emma, let's go. And it was a boxing gym. I just couldn't get in there. And I kicked myself for not doing it then. I would have had so many years in, but glad that I made it to where I am now. So the class that you offer really, really just like, I'm so passionate about it. There may have been times that I missed my express workout and now functional strength training, but I would never miss my kickboxing classes. I'm like, no, I have to make it. I just, something about it really drives me. It never feels like a chore. It never feels like something that oh gosh, I have to, it's, time passes and you get this kick-ass workout, and then you also think of the self-defense part of it, and it's amazing. So after doing that for about 2 years with you, Coach Lou, I decided to kind of extend my fighting background and head to challenge myself with some MMA, so mixed martial arts, doing some Brazilian jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, Muay Thai, and boxing. So all of that intertwined there. And
You know,
hopefully by 2025, I'll be ready to have my first fight.
yes. And so Emma's really like, how we talk about you come up with reasons why you can't. And when things were getting in her way, because Emma ended up moving, they bought their first house, and she's further from me. So she really travels to come out and train with me. Um, but what she did was she was like, Coach Lou, like, I just really want to come up with a plan. And
Yeah.
let's make a plan so that and I remember one thing she said to me, she was like, I'm too old to fight. And I just looked at
Yes.
her like, girl,
I,
what?
I, I
You too
know it.
old to what? To have an experience? What?
I
Um,
know.
and it was just more like, give yourself time, Emma. And I love, like I said, Emma's very coachable. You know, I'm like, you need to start in on your jujitsu. You need to get that
Yeah.
down, especially if
Yeah.
you're gonna do MMA. And you know, because she was coming in the morning to do workouts, and then she was traveling in the evening, and it just wasn't
Yeah.
in her schedule. And so
Hmm.
she found a gym that's closer to her. But I still get to see her lovely face in the morning. She still does express classes with me. And express just means it's a 30-minute class, and we focus on a
Hmm.
lot of like hit training, calisthenics,
Yeah.
either body weight. We get in and we get out. But she
Right.
also sticks around and does strength training with us, which is her weightlifting, because I told her alongside her journey, she needs to be strong to be able to pack a punch, you know.
Yeah.
And she has really taken to it, and it's been so cool to watch how's her body, or like her body composition, you know, really changing. And I love this because she's getting to a point where it's not about the weight anymore,
Right.
because she's lost the weight, but now it's toning her body, and it's, you know, growing that muscle, and building that inner strength. And weights can be very humbling, just like a punch to the face.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
But I am just really proud of you, and I just feel like I wanted to interview you for this because um, your story is really beautiful, and I know that many, many people can relate to what you're saying. And so it's nice to listen to people's journeys and their stories and how they did it.
Hmm.
And just to kind of dig like a little bit deeper, like life has thrown some really hard stuff to Emma, but
Hmm.
she's always found a way to kind of move through that. And one of the things I really admire is that she brings her kids, and her kids see her doing this, and she is inspiring them, you know. So Emma, as you kind of are moving through these different realms of like wellness, um, what do you feel is like your biggest why? What keeps you going? What are your whys?
Mm.
I know that's a hard one. That's definitely.
Oh my gosh. Um, I think that one of the main things here is being able to be healthy for my children so I can live to see them grow and not be a burden to them as I age. I know I didn't bring up my age. I'm 34 going on 35. And although a lot of people are like, you're just a baby, time
Mhm.
passes so fast. And before you know it, you know, you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s. And I don't want to be, you know, unhealthy for them or for grandchildren or just in general, you know. And I also want them to establish their own healthy habits. And that typically comes from what they see, their parents, or what they're around. And I did have bad habits, and I did a lot of stuff that wasn't healthy that the older ones, you know, had seen or been through. And having to try and deal with that trauma but move forward with it is all, you know, the whole term, you know better, you do better. I think of that all the time. It's like my oldest and myself always just go at it, you know. It's hard for her because I was a teen mom, you know. I was 14 when I was pregnant, 15 when I had her, and she had to deal with a child, raising a child. And that's a lot for a kid to deal with. And it's really affected her, although she's like thriving and doing fantastic. She has a real estate license. She's also doing some fitness stuff, fitness coach also, and doing really good for herself. I think that as I get older, it's really important for me to just do better every day. If I know something that I can change that's going to be better, I just need to do it, and so I can be better for the rest. If there's something that I lacked when I was younger.
And when you catch yourself falling back into habits or things creeping up, um, do you feel like you notice it right away and start to kind of make those shifts? Like, what do you do for yourself when you find yourself going, when those old habits come a creeping and knocking? Because we are, it happens, and we're human. So,
Totally.
what do you feel you do for that?
Um, ask myself why. Like, why are you doing, and sometimes it will be out loud. I think it's important for us to talk to ourselves, not just have thoughts in here, but also just out loud. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you picking up a second donut, or we'll say whatever it was, right? Because my struggle, one of my main struggles was food. So now I just have these conversations with myself like, are you hungry?
Hmm.
Is this something that you really need because you're lacking and your body might need that, or have you had enough? What are you feeling right now, Emma? Are you angry? Are you sad? Are you stressed out? And I'll ask myself those questions, and then typically it's an emotion that's attached to whatever behavior that I'm experiencing.
Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah.
that's wonderful. Absolutely. And it's actually doing it and catching yourself when you're doing it, people. Like, really, when you are going down that pathway, it's important that, something triggered that. And now what you're doing is you're disrupting a pattern by saying, like, why am I doing this? And it usually is attached to something like boredom,
Hmm.
stress, sadness, whatever that emotion that you're feeling. So it sounds to
Right.
me like you're just really diving into the root of that and focusing on allowing yourself to reel it back in. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, pretty much like I said, 109 pounds down and
Hmm.
still striving for goals. And it's amazing. And I'm going to make sure that I have attached some photos. Like, on this podcast, you can see Emma's before and after. Emma's a real person. So if um, but make sure you give her some love and comment on there. And like I said, we're all so proud of her, and I'm so happy to coach you on this journey
Yeah.
and have you. Your energy is so great, and you're so coachable and motivating, inspiring, and you just it's been such a pleasure, Emma, and I love you to pieces, and I'm so
Thank you.
you and all the things that you're doing for yourself. And it's just, I know that you're going to touch someone's heart when they hear this story. And so, with that said, is there anything else that you would like to add before we close out? Because after we do this podcast, you see, you're going to think of so many things that you should
I know.
could have
I
said.
know. Right?
So,
I'm
if
just
there's
like, oh my
anything,
God. Oh God.
any advice you
Uh,
could offer to people, any words of encouragement, like,
Um, yeah, like especially for women, if you're a single mom, I've been a single mom. The relationship that I was in, that wasn't going so well. I was a single mom before that. I was a single mom a little after that. That went on for about a year. And single mom, not just like one, I had 4 kids, and I had just myself to have to, work and feed and clothe and all that stuff. I also, have a lot of different struggles. There was drugs at one point in my life that I was fooling around with too, and that was like super, super hard. It was the doing it part in my brain. I thought I was doing it for a good reason. I'm going to have a bunch of energy. I'm going to go clean the house. I'm going to take care of everything. And that was the biggest lie ever. It messed with me, and I'm just super, super, super thankful that I didn't go down really destructive. It could have been really bad for me. And because I stopped when I stopped about 8 months into using drugs, it helped a lot. And th- I get this a lot from people that I share my story with. They're like, how did you do that? Like, you just told yourself, don't do it anymore. Like, you're done. During the process, or the 8 months that I was using drugs, I also lost a child during that time, and that was the hardest part of my whole story. So I want people to know that I was married and divorced before the age of 22. I've lost a child. I've dealt with physical and sexual abuse, drug use, being a single mom, everything you can think of. So I hope that any woman out there knows that they can um,
Yeah.
just you can all do it.
Yeah.
You can all do it. I was raised by a single mom. My dad passed away when I was 12. Um, but I never make any excuses for behaviors or actions or anything that I've done. There's triggers and there's trauma in there, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and I want a lot of these women to know that it's going to be okay. Just know that there's somebody that's been there before, and that it's going to be okay, and you're not alone. Even it could be the craziest story, you're not alone.
Oh, that was so beautiful. Thank you for being vulnerable there with us here. That's huge. And just for all of you out there who struggle with this, who think you're not enough, who feel that they fall into this journey, to this trap, to this spiral, like you are the person that can pull yourself out of this. There is no magic. You are the magic. And there's people who can guide you, who can give you the tools, but you've got to put them in place and follow through with that. And I also always like to encourage you to surround yourself with a good community of people who want the things that you want. I mean, if
Mhm.
fitness is what you'd like, I mean, that's why we would talk about, like, I love seeing Emma's face in the gym, but we're all surrounded in this community and we're here to support each other. And we have like-minded goals. And most people that you're surrounded with in the gym, they want wellness for themselves, or they're working. So don't be afraid to take that step and come out there. And we have resources. I have a lot of free resources on the website, things to just kind of help you. I have online courses to kind of get your mindset started, to work on fat loss. So there's things out there. Just take that step wherever you may be listening to this from. Find a place that you vibe with. We call ourselves, we have a tribe, the Elevate tribe. Like, find your tribe that you feel good with, that you vibe. And Emma was blessed to find many different,
Yeah.
she's got two awesome gyms that she gets to work
Yes.
with, and we're all connected. I mean, shoot, I think I coached one of your coaches.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We're
That is so
all
cool.
in a journey together.
Yeah.
That's how old I am, girl.
Uh,
But with that said, I'm gonna close out with that. And
okay.
Emma, really thank you for your time and for putting in this today and just sharing your journey and your story. And I'm really excited to hear, like, the feedback we get from this. And just keep flying, keep soaring, girl.
Yes.
Remember what you've done and what you've accomplished. And it's more than just the weight loss, it's the mindset, it's the obstacles you've overcome, it's the person, it's um the levels that you keep vibrating up to. And
Hmm.
I see you getting up here. I see you operating at this beautiful level. And sometimes that means, people have to leave your life because they
Yes.
don't know what it's like to operate on that side. So don't let people tell you, oh, you're on a diet, you're gonna this, you're gonna that, you're not drinking, you're not this. Like, hey, if this is part of your journey, then you need to level up. And sometimes that means
100%.
letting go of people who do not serve that.
Serve the purpose. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
thank you, Emma. Thank you for
Yes.
your time.
Yes.
And I will see you at the gym, girl.
Okay. I'll see you. All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.